Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds. Got my bro Luke Simons, like diamonds. And we're talking about why tens of thousands of inshore saltwater anglers are now leaving Facebook, leaving a lot of these Facebook fishing groups to join and to participate and be active in this amazing online fishing community. So, Luke, if you don't mind pulling up the screen share real quick, and let's just talk about kind of some of the issues. And a lot of people have mentioned, because if you don't know, Salt Strong, that was started by my brother Luke and I have to imagine probably the largest saltwater Facebook group out there, ironically, with I think 73,000 fishermen. And we started that many years ago. It exploded. And now it's still growing, but we're never in there. And so people ask all the time, hey, like, how come I don't see you guys in there? How come Tony and Wyatt and Austin and all your fishing coaches aren't in there? It's because we're in this community that we're about to show you here in just a second. And what we saw coming was, and it had a little bit to do with just all the negativity that was always kind of there on Facebook. There's always been cursing and belittling and just spam, right? And smut and all kinds of bad stuff out there that can be a little bit annoying. But what we saw happening was this censorship. And guys, if you're not seeing it yet, I'm telling you, the admins behind the scene it feels like every day, and it might be every day now, we are having Facebook self-police. And this is happening across the board on especially fishing and hunting. And they're now self-policing these Facebook groups and deleting content out there. So they are now determining what is appropriate for you and what's not. And I'm talking about something as little as a droplet of blood on a fish. They've now said that goes against their policies and guidelines, and they have every right, because they own that platform, to take it down, and we can't say anything about it. It's happening once again, almost on a daily basis now. I get a little alert in the morning and it said Facebook took these 3 posts down because it went against their guidelines. Sometimes it's literally as simple as just blood. So if they say that it's not illegal, but it's not within their guidelines to have anything with hunting or fishing and be associated with blood, that would mean cleaning fish. That would mean even just having a fish that you are harvesting in a cooler or in a live well where there's a little bit of blood. They can automatically delete that, and it can only get worse. It ain't going to get better. The more and more we have people inside of Facebook who can make up their own rules, who might, let's just say we get the chair, someone on the chair of PETA who ends up being on the chair of Facebook, which may or may not already be happening right now for all I know. And they just say, hey, you know what? We're just not going to have any fishing and hunting on this at all if they're going to be showing pictures of fish being held out of the water. And you guys might be laughing and saying that seems crazy, but I'm telling you, we're watching it happening. Is the largest Facebook group out there. And once again, like, we have the most to lose on this. We are seeing it happen day in and day out. They are censoring this, and they're self-policing this. It used to be they let the administrators self-police stuff. If we saw, real negativity or cursing, we would get rid of it and delete that person or that comment off. And now they're going in there and basically taking charge of these groups in many cases and deleting stuff without even our permission. And we can't go reverse it in most all these cases. It's scary.
Yeah, and the fact that it's happening on our post, and we're family friendly. So before we post anything, the big question is, like, would we be embarrassed if, like, our mom saw it, or our Joe's 8-year-old daughter? Would they be like? Would we be offended if we printed it? So the answer is obviously no, and everything we post. So the fact that ours are getting taken down is worrisome. It's not like we're out there doing, like, getting on the edge of being, of actually being, like, offensive or just not right, not family friendly. So that's why I've been just totally shocked on how this has gone.
Yep. And so here's what we got on Facebook. This is why we're moving away from that very fast and have been, which is why there's 20,000 plus people who have already kind of not jumped ship, if you will, because we're still have the Facebook group. Obviously, we're not jumping ship, but at some point we might have to completely And one, you got the negativity, you got the cursing, the belittling, you got just the spam that's in all these groups. I mean, once you get someone in there, they could share whatever the heck they want to. And sometimes it takes an hour for an admin or Facebook to self-police it and take stuff down. Two, it's not organized. It's not categorized at all, right? And we all know that. Facebook's just basically just one big wall. And the bad news is Facebook controls what you see. If they don't want you to see something, or if they think this is not appropriate because they don't like fishing, or they don't like a redfish that has a drop of blood on it that was getting harvested, they can just go ahead and delete that and or not show it to you for any reason they want. So we've lost all control. Now they're also putting ads in there. And that's one thing on this new platform I'm going to show to you. It's completely ad free and always will be. So they're now putting ads inside of these fishing Facebook groups, which is pretty interesting and a little bit irritating. As someone who helped build a group. And of course, Facebook doesn't, give any to us. It's just all going back into their coffers. And then the whole censorship thing is probably the most alarming. And it's even worse if you're in hunting. I mean, I feel bad for just all outdoors men and women in general. The hunting is going first. Instagram and Facebook are going after the hunting scene real hard, because at least with fishing, we have catch and release. With hunting, there ain't really catch and release. I mean, you shoot something and you're harvesting it. And for whatever reason, there's people up at the top who are making these community guidelines and rules in Facebook and Instagram, who are owned by the same company, that don't seem to agree with that, and maybe have never been hunting. Maybe their mom or dad never took them outside, which is another reason our mission is to unite friends and family, to get them outside to see all the amazing things in this, and not just see a deer that's been killed, which it seems to be that whoever's making these decisions is just, I mean, and completely left field, and has no idea about where food comes from. I mean, it's mind-boggling, the stuff that we're seeing happen behind the scenes. So many years ago, Luke and I started building the insider community, which is what you can see on the screen here. Luke, if you maybe start scrolling down, and we'll talk through bits and pieces of this. This is where all of the members are going. We now have 20,000 plus members who have joined this community, and this is all custom built. So this is not on some third-party platform that can be taken down. We have spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars building this, and we're about to revamp it big time here. And you can see it looks and feels kind of like a social media site, meaning it's not like an old school forum that's just boring and clunky and looks like it was built in 1980. We did not want that. But the one thing that those old school forums had, right, Luke, was they were categorized at least, and you can actually see what questions were being asked and what types of fish were being asked and what regions they were being caught in. And so that was the one thing that we wanted to add. And then, of course, it's got the community feel over here to your right. You can see all the new members. Can you scroll over there, Luke, real quick? Top trending anglers, but you can see all the trending anglers. You can see all the new members. So we all always get in there and welcome them every single day. And this is where we are spending our personal time. There's new reports going up. I think there's been one since we've been talking here already. Yeah, it looks like there has been. There's new reports. What is that top one? It just went up 11 minutes ago.
11 minutes ago, yeah.
There's new reports going up every 5 to 10 minutes, and that just keeps compounding every single day. So
the cool thing too is,
real quick, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, it just as far as the organization, as Joe mentioned, this isn't like just a random, a long, forever ending or forever continuing Facebook feed with just who knows what coming next. We can filter down reports if we just want to see, okay, what's happening? Like what are people catching? Click on reports. And if you even want to see, what's happening near you, right? You just click reports and then click your city or your region, and it'll actually filter down the feed to be whatever multi-level facet search you want. So it's super organized. We're making some updates to it, so it's a little bit slow. My internet is out of whack here with this storm. But so now we can see the Tampa Bay area, and now we're looking at just stuff happening in the Tampa Bay area, right? And this was so at least once a day they're coming in. Every region's a little bit different, and this is the middle of the week, so it's kind of the slow time, but it is just super helpful. You can see what's happening. You can actually communicate with the authors, and in these tips you can see some really helpful tips, tactics. It's just awesome. It is. I've gotten so much out of it. Look at the size of that pufferfish. Golly. And it's just again, cool things you can see. Caught that on the Slam Shady lure. That's pretty awesome. But it's just, this is where we spend our time. Like I haven't been in that Facebook group that Joe mentioned since it was at 50,000 people. I was shocked to hear that it's 70,000 because this is just so much better. Like I literally have not been in there in quite a while.
And you can see, stay right there, pause, Luke. And if you're listening, I'm just going to explain what it is. So this is a report that just went up. So this was, this is just 17 hours. So all these so far have been just here in the last 24 hours. Talks a little bit about where they were. You do kind of a little summary, if you will. If you scroll down, then you got a picture of the redfish. And then below that, keep going, we talk about the tide and the weather, the type of equipment, what lures they were using, and any tips and tactics. You can see saw wading birds and pelicans, knew there was an oyster bar off the mangrove island, retrieve, twitch, pause with the current. And this kind of stuff is going up, like I said, every 5 to 10 minutes, really from Texas to Florida to kind of that New Jersey area and everywhere in between. And I love the fact, we'll go into the map just in just a second, and you can see exactly what's happening in your area. Or if you happen to be traveling, like the one time I was going up to Pensacola, guess what? I got in there and I was looking to see who was catching fish in the Pensacola area and ended up, meeting up with one of the insiders. So what I really love now is all the people who are meeting up. It was like really going crazy. And then all of a sudden COVID hit and the meetings have kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm seeing them pick up again now, which is really, really cool. It's just anglers helping anglers, people coming together with a like cause, if you will, that just want to maximize their time and have fun and be around positive people. Because I mentioned one of the cons about Facebook is that it's just so negative, right? And even within our own little groups, it's negative. And even with our own little groups, there's the politics and all this stuff. We allow no politics. We allow no negativity, like no cursing. We actually spent extra money when we built this to have Nick, our developer, find every single curse word in like the American dictionary, even some of these crazy slang words that young kids are saying these days. And we have it permanently deleted. So if anyone leaves any curse words at all, it's just boom, it's gone. You can't even post cursing. We want this thing to be family friendly. We want this to be a place that you can be proud to be in. Even if your boss or your wife or your kids are watching this stuff with you, we want it to be a place that's 100% family focused. There's no cursing. There's no negativity. There's no belittling. I believe in the 5 years, it's interesting, because this obviously costs a little bit of money. It's only 27 cents a day. So it's a whole lot less than a cup of coffee, but it's interesting. Once you get people who have a little bit vested interest, just like if Facebook charged, 20 cents a day to use it, you'd probably get rid of a lot of the riffraff, if you will. And that's what happened. I think in the 4.5, 5 years we've been doing this in our private community, we've had to kick out like 3 people and we just give them their money back and say, adios, you're just not a fit for our group. And that's been amazing. And I don't think we've had one in a year now, a year, maybe even a year plus, just because people are trained that, hey, if I'm in the Salt Strong Insider club and community, it is going to be positive people, and they don't tolerate cursing. They don't tolerate politics or negativity. It's all fishing. Like everything here you see is going to be fishing reports or questions about tackle or questions about travel. In essence, I mean, those are really kind of the 3 main things: is tackle questions and rigging, and then fishing reports, and then usually types of travel. Hey, I'm going here, or hey, has anyone fished this area yet? Are there any spot dissections in this area? That's where we get on a satellite map and just dissect a spot and show you kind of some of the hidden honey holes. Those are really the main things that are happening here. And of course, now we have it where not only can you upload pictures, look, if you keep scrolling through this,
I was just going to show just like if this is a Facebook post, this will be all you see pretty much. But again, here you can have a link to the map on where it was caught. I'm not going to click it because that's for Insider Club members only.
Yep.
But also you can see just all the extra level details. In particular, the tips tactics, crucial. I learned so much from this. I've caught so many more fish in the past year because I get in here and I just read these tip tactics section.
Yep. So maybe show another one because we went over that one. So here's another. Look at that. I mean, there's tips and tactics almost in all of these, and talk about he dragged a Texas, was it the power prawn slowly? There's
the first one, the original was power prawn. This one's a Texas rig shrimp. This is that related to that shrimp tip we did a little bit ago.
Cool. And then I know Brianna, one of our newer members out there killing. I love too. This started with mostly kind of weekend warriors, even some full-time guides. We have about 10% of the members in here are full-time guides, and many people like Captain Danny Trevino and Tom Ray that came in. Oh, there's that map. Woo! Look at all the. So every one of these pins is a fishing report / spot or spot dissection. I mean, look at that. That is crazy. But anyhow, they came in is just normal weekend warriors and advanced so quickly, ended up getting their captain's license. And now a lot of these members are out there, doing charters. And we got Justin Napier and just some really amazing people who are now on the water every week as full-time guides or part-time guides and sharing their reports as well. So I love seeing a lot of new people come in. I love seeing some of the females coming in as well, who just want to get better and start out fishing their husbands and boyfriends and just become more consistent. I love that stuff. And now we got Wyatt. If you're listening, Luke's on our map, which shows all of the pins we have, and every one of these pins is some type of a report or spot dissection. And now Wyatt just moved over to Corpus Christi, if you guys missed that announcement. So he was in the Carolinas. We're working on a replacement for him there. And now he's over in Texas, going to be going all down the Texas coast, doing reports there and meeting up with some members. I know he just met up with a member this past week.
Yeah, so this is just awesome. A lot of people ask for regional stuff in our Facebook group. Just to kind of explain to them, the Facebook group, that was always a big problem, especially as it grew. It started with just 40 people, and this was, we started that probably 5 years ago, that Facebook group. But then we started, the tips we've done have applied to really, anybody targeting redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder, and those species go across a very long and wide expanse. And in the group, you can't really sort somebody in Texas who wants to look for just the Texas stuff and localized tips. In the Facebook group, that was impossible. And so that was another reason why we built this, because now somebody in Texas wanted to see some Texas-related stuff, right? Let's see why it just got into Corpus Christi. So we'll click on this region, click on this actual big old box, and now we can see what's happening in this particular region. And again, super, super helpful. So that's just a huge benefit. And then obviously we can click back to the map and you can click on each individual pin as well. Also, you can sort it by month, just to see these, to filter down these reports to see what's happening in this month, right? Because fish move, right? We all know that. Throughout the season, fish will be moving around, and so we can use this map to filter down and filter down the reports that will mean the most to us on the regional and on the timeline basis.
Because it's all about trends, right? And I think so many people get this wrong. We got it wrong forever. They're like, oh, hey, give me a good spot to go. And it's all based on trends. And that's why every single week we're out there on the water. I mean, the on the water tips, and that's like these insider reports, they're priceless. You actually get to see us. I mean, every week we're going to new spots every single week and fishing real places we haven't fished before and showing you everything. I mean, exactly where we were on a map, where all the fish were caught, where the bait was, what lures, what rigs we used. It is absolutely priceless. And of course, on top of that, that's just one of the many things we're doing. Now we have the spot dissections, the smart fishing game plan that Luke does every single Friday. So what Luke does is he goes through all these reports for the whole week and basically starts at Texas and goes to Virginia and just curates all of it. Because let's face it, I mean, if you went through every single post, it would take you many hours every single week. It might take you hours every single day. Now there's so much going up. So we go through and filter and curate all of it and tell you exactly what types of areas, what types of depths, and what types of rigs and lures you should be using every single week to go catch inshore saltwater slam. So it's mostly focused towards redfish and speckled trout and snook and flounder and black drum mangrove snapper. We do have some times where we'll talk, about cobia and triple tail and black drum and some other species. But for the most part, it's kind of that core 4 to 5 species that we're just continually trying to help you go out there and catch those inshore slams.
Yeah, because those are the ones that you can go out on any given weekend, as long as you know the proper tactics, which we have courses that cover the foundation on how to understand where the feeding zones are going to be, and more importantly, how to know where they're not going to be, so you don't waste your time in the dead zones. but we actually, help you. And as Joe said, the game plans have been a big, probably one of the most mentioned things as far as being helpful, because it's me and the team going through the latest reports, and then consolidating and putting it all together, but then also looking at the weather forecast. And because sometimes what's been happening lately totally gets changed by the weather, a big weather system coming in. And so we actually let you know what's been happening, and then we'll help you interpret how to make changes if there is a big weather system coming in. If not, obviously the trends will continue. But in the many cases where it seems like the weekends that the terrible weather seems to come in, that's where the analysis on, hey, we have a system coming through, here's what's been happening, but here's what you need to do given the upcoming weather that's about to hit us. So crucial, so important.
Yep. And then one of the other pieces is just the coaching, right? Whereas, Facebook, you might have a moderator, some admins, people like us that started it that are hardly in there anymore. The coaching part is huge. I mean, it's like having a full-time fishing guide in your back pocket. So we have now Austin, who is a stud angler, and you've seen him in a few videos. His full-time job is just to run this community and answer any questions possible. Sometimes we'll have to go up there and call captains, or I'll have to go out there and find other content that we've created just to help them out. And so his job is to make sure every single question that ever gets posted in here is quickly answered. And we're going to hire a new person soon, even talking about hiring an expert in the surf / beach wade fishing arena. We want to have experts on every type of fishing you can imagine. And this is where they are. I mean, look at that. This is Austin's comment. If you guys are listening, Luke explained this. Someone asked a question. This is his first time, a guy named Tim. And oh my gosh, Austin replied, yeah, so I was planning on hitting the water. Is Tuesday's forecast call for a cold front to pass through? All right, this is in Freeport, Texas area. And I won't read all of it. It's quite a
long question, and then very long question. And so we go through, our coaches will go through the time to read through it, and then provide some help. And just as importantly is actually give the links on where to go. So you don't have to go try to flounder around somewhere. And so this is what we're here for. We're here to help. When you have questions, we're here to, and you can see how fast the answer came in, right? This came in 3 hours ago, and the post was, where's the post date? Yeah, 3 hours ago. So that was like an immediate. He got an answer within an hour, it looks like within 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. So, and Austin usually is on, he's Johnny on the spot. He's usually on this within an hour, unless it's like at midnight or something. He is always on this stuff. And Austin even told him exactly what kind of baits to use. So, I mean, to me, that part is priceless. And of course, if you guys have seen anything we're doing with the Insider Club, this is just one piece of it. The community is an incredibly important piece. It's the foundation. It's our family. It's where we're going and spending our own time every single day. And this is replaced, at least for Luke, almost 100%, and me about 95%. I just post links in our group, and I just bolt out real quick. Honestly, we use it as kind of a recruiting tool to get more people into this private insider community. And on top of the community, we of course have the discounts. I mean, that brings a lot of people in as well. Everything from rods and reels. We have a lot of new stuff coming. This has been just the craziest year in the history, really, of fishing tackle because of COVID, and just so many, just even small pieces are made overseas. And it's just been almost impossible to get what you want. We have like well over $500,000 worth of pending orders. Some of them go back as far as like July of last year that we still have not received. It is crazy. And you can see here, we have our member price and then the public price. And that public price is basically the lowest advertised price on like a Bass Pro or even an Amazon. And then, our members get up to 20% off, sometimes more, on everything. And what makes it different than anything else, because some people say, well, hey, I don't see like the crazy selection I see at Bass Pro. Well, no kidding. I mean, half the stuff at Bass Pro is crap. Like half the stuff there is 100% meant to catch fishermen and not fish. I mean, there's a reason that everyone has at least a closet, if not a garage, if you've been fishing for any amount of time, of stuff you're like, man, I wish I hadn't spent money on that. It's just sitting there collecting dust and rust. So we only want to have in the store stuff that works based on our like on the water experience, not because someone said it was good, not because some sponsored talking head said this is the latest and greatest. Like we go out there and buy this stuff with our own money. We have zero sponsors. We've had tons of manufacturers who have asked to sponsor us, and we've said no to 100% of them because we want to go out there and basically be the consumer reports for you. We want to go out there and put this stuff to the test and then buy it with our own hard-earned money and then give it to you guys at an amazing price. So our whole goal is that you guys do, and guys and gals do buy a lot of tackle, but just buy the best stuff. Buy the stuff that you know is going to work. And then finally, that you're going to maximize it because we show you how to use every single one of the items on here. We have videos on how to actually rig everything, how to just get the most out of it. It kills me because I feel like the average angler is kind of like a 95-year-old grandma getting a new iPhone 12, right? She knows how to like text and make calls and doesn't know anything else about, hey, what's this whole app store? What does this do? And most fishermen are like that too. They think they know, just like grandma's like, oh, I figured this thing out. I'm texting. I'm maximizing the heck out of my iPhone. But most anglers don't. And so we spend a lot of time on that. One, putting you at the right spot at the right time. And then two, showing you how to get the most out of your investment, how to get the most out of everything that you're buying, all while saving money on only the best stuff.
Yeah. And what I've learned over the years is that less is more when it comes to tackle, like almost every time. And even doing tournaments, I got to the point where I would take 2 rods, one for the shallows, one for a little bit deeper water, and I would only have 1 lure for each scenario. So there was no second guessing lures. There was no having to go out, test a bunch of different lures and just like, oh, I have to change my retrieve because I'm using this lure and now I change to that one or change colors. It was all about getting yourself in the right spot and then getting a lure that you're good at using. Like once I just got good and I kept using the same hand, like small selection of lures over and over again, I was able to do the small tweaks in the retrieve to generate strikes under various conditions. That was a game changer. And so that's what we teach. We teach you how to catch more fish with less stuff. And it's shocking how effective it is. It totally is probably the biggest surprise I had in fishing because I was the guy who was in high school. All my money I got from mowing lawns and picking weeds all went to lures because I thought that the problem I was having is I didn't have the perfect lure for every single situation. I had every color of every lure that I ever used. And what I realized is simplicity is just so much more effective as long as the actual rigging and all the details are done properly. And that's what we teach. So everybody who buys our stuff, we have courses on how to use each one. They're video, just quick video lessons, just to make sure that you're doing the mechanics properly. And when you do it properly, it's shocking how effective they are.
Yep. So the community, then we got the discounts, and then we have all the premium content. This is the on the water stuff that you can't see out there on YouTube. This is the real time trends, like what's working right now. This is the spot dissections where every week we do at least one, if not 2 dissections. Sometimes it'll be Charleston and sometimes it'll be Fort Myers. Next time it'll be in Texas. And we now have a massive library of these spot dissections. We have members who get in and just watch that one dissection for their area and like, this was worth the price of admission. I have been passing over these spots that you guys identified just because this is what we do. We sit here and read these online maps. We know exactly what to look for to help you go out there and catch more fish. These are the 3 main pieces. If you go back to the community, one thing that a lot of people ask, especially because Facebook has done an amazing job with mobile. This is all crazy mobile friendly. We had like a full app inside of iTunes and Android. And another reason that it drives us crazy working on these other people's platforms. Apple in particular did not like the fact that this app, meaning our Salt Strong Insider Community app, was basically the same thing as the web version. And we obviously don't have the cloud of someone like Facebook who basically does the same thing. And so what we did is we took it off the app platform and created a progressive app. And if you don't know what that means, it literally is the same thing as an app. It sits on your phone just like an app. You're logged in forever just like an app. I mean, it it's identical to an app. It just takes one extra little step. Instead of going to the iTunes store, you literally just save it on your homepage of your phone and then log in once, and then you're in forever, just like any other app. And of course, that syncs up with the shop page to get your discounts and all the fishing tips and the community, et cetera. And it is super, super fast on mobile. We've spent a lot of time and energy and money making sure that it's crazy fast on mobile. And our promises to you is it's going to stick only to fishing, that it's not going to have ads. There's going to be no politics involved. And you're just not going to have all the smut and the fluff and all the spam that's on Facebook. And we're certainly never going to censor people. That's, to me, one of the scariest parts of just social media in general. All it takes is someone to get in there who has control that disagrees with you, or could be, a monster PETA fan and just says, hey, I think even just catching fish is bad and is harmful. And even just holding out of the water for 1 second is, you might as well just be suffocating them like that one crazy video they did. So all it takes is that, and then boom, all of these social media platforms could completely change in short fashion. So we're ahead of the curve. We built this just basically because we wanted a place that was positive and a place that was well organized and had categories and were based on regions. We had no idea this whole censorship thing was going to come, but now that's been one of our biggest worries. And now we're just so thankful. And so many of our members, many have just said, hey, I've deleted Facebook altogether, and I just now go to this community and post all there it is. Luke's got the app up. So you can see super, super mobile friendly and super easy to use. This is where I'm on it every single day, every single morning. I'm in there. Oh, look at that one, dude. So that's Wyatt. If you guys saw that gator trout, he just put a report up and literally showed exactly where he was. I mean, he was wade fishing. He actually literally shows where he got this fish, how he found the spot, exactly what he was using, where he was casting. And we're doing this every single week. That is only for Insider members only. That's the exclusive content I'm talking about, and Wyatt just posted that. That's a pretty awesome report.
Yeah, and then sometimes I get the ask people, or people just asking about the thing is this just for beginners or what? And so it's really for everybody. And if you are a beginner, you will not be a beginner very long at all. Like literally, when you go through the 3 courses that we give you when you start, about finding spots and then about positioning and approach. It's a topic that is rarely discussed, and it's incredibly important. And then just the inshore fishing 101, that covers the bases. If you just go through those, you're going to be in like the 80 percentile just right then. But then as you go through these weekly game plans and just kind of get to see how the tactics and strategies change as the weather and the conditions change, you're going to quickly become in the like the 95 percentile. So yes, it's for beginners, being really for everybody, but there's no long-term beginners because anybody coming in as a beginner is not going to be a beginner very long. And I personally I've had some of my most fun fishing adventures just from tips that I've personally got for the community. It's impossible to not learn something good and something very useful when you have this many anglers just who are education focused and are I guess very help focused. I don't fly fish very often, but I got a tip from one of the members that there's some tarpon hanging around when I was looking through the regional feed. And so I dusted they got the dust off my fly rod, took it out of there, a fly that I tied, and I caught a tarpon. And there's no way I would have had that opportunity had I not gotten that helpful tip from that helpful member.
Yep. Anglers helping anglers. We had a full-time fishing guide. This guy I'm not going to say his name because I don't have his permission, but he sent us an email, and he's been guiding full-time for 18 years. And he basically said, hey guys, I was kind of skeptical about joining. He's like, I just, probably maybe you, if you haven't joined, he was like, I'm kind of skeptical. I'm a guide. I feel like I kind of knew it all, but he's like, I really wanted to get the discounts on some of your reels that you had in. So I figured I could, kind of pay for itself just on the discounts. And he says, I am blown away with what I've learned. He actually went through that Finding Spots Mastery course. This is the kind of the foundational course to finding spots. And he's like, I learned a ton that I thought I knew everything about reading these satellite maps because I learned something. And now I'm actually getting there in the community, and I'm just seeing like, holy smokes, there's a whole lot more to this than, just some discounts and a little online community. He's like, this has actually been mind blowing. So it's cool to even see that from full-time guides who are now joining. So I hope you guys will join us. If you're interested, go to saltstrong.com. Up at the top, you'll see a place to join us in the Insider Club. And we've done something pretty crazy. We used to have a 30-day guarantee because that was just kind of like industry standard, just people, hey, make sure you like it for 30 days. We started realizing after a couple of years that almost everyone was renewing, right? Because you have the opportunity to renew every year or to leave, and almost everybody was renewing. And no one was canceling. And so we're like, well, hey, let's just do like the biggest, boldest, baddest guarantee in humankind in the fishing world. And it's a 365-day, 100% money back guarantee. So like we literally give you an entire year. And the promise is this, that if you're not catching more fish, we want you to be catching more fish in less time, AKA maximizing your time in the water. And then 2, saving money on tackle, not just from the 20% or more off on the actual tackle, but showing you what tackle to use and what tackle to avoid. That's the consumer reports part of it. And if those 2 things don't happen, you your money back. No questions asked. You can call us and talk to a real live American, not some dude in Pakistan, and we'll just give you your money back. No questions asked, and part ways as friends. But we know just from doing this now, this is our 5th year of doing it. We're seeing how fast this is growing. And it's because this place is amazing. It's not because of Luke and I, it's because of the coaches, and it's because of this whole community. I mean, we have now members, and I could probably do a roll call on 100 plus of them that have just become incredibly helpful. And guys like Pat and Joe, and you guys know who I am, and Gorgeous George, I mean, they're in there every single day, and they're telling people, hey, you might want to try this area. Hey, I just fished that last week, because these are guys who are on the water all the time. And I mean, they're just incredibly helpful. And we're so grateful for all of you. If you're listening and you are a member, thank you guys so much. It's just become fun. It's become a fun place, whereas Facebook was becoming not fun. I would get frustrated and get angry at, people's negative comments and what people say. And we don't have that anymore. And that's another big reason that we've moved away from the Facebook. And ultimately, I mean, a couple of years from now, I'd be willing to bet that Facebook group is probably gone. I feel a lot of them will slowly start dying off just because people are tired of the censorship and tired of letting Facebook determine what you can and can't see or can and can't say. The only thing that we're ever going to tell you can't say is cursing and negativity. And if you just love cursing like a sailor and love tearing people down, then stay on Facebook and stay off of our private community that we've built. But if you're not, if you want to be around like-minded people who are positive and helpful and sharing tips and ultimately just want you to succeed in terms of saving time and money, then come join us today in the Insider Club. That's saltstrong.com. And you can either go to saltstrong.com/pricing. You'll see the lowest, best possible price right now that we've ever done. And it comes with that 365-day, 100% money back guarantee. We've made it a no-brainer. We've taken all the risk off of you, and we put it on us to perform.
Yeah, you're going to love it. As you saw there, that's how it works. And throughout the time, as soon as you sign up, you'll get an email welcoming you in there. You don't have to be a tech genius to log in, because the email you get is literally, there's one click. You click that link and it automatically logs you in, and it'll walk you through the process on how to do it. So, and then if you have any questions along the way, we're here to help. We have multiple full-time people in customer service. So again, any questions come in that you have, you're going to get a quick response, and it's going to be from somebody here in the U.S. who knows what they're doing. They're very helpful, and they'll be able to get you on track if somehow you get off track. But just give it a try. Again, all the risk is on us.
Yep, and just 27 cents per day. And we do have a step-by-step video, multiple videos, and even like the diagrams showing you exactly how to get on your phone. So you have the Progressive app right there on your phone, just like Facebook or anything else. You can access it in one button and be on there. We have made it so simple that 95-year-old grandma with iPhone 12 could actually figure this out and be on there. So guys, hope that was helpful. And if you're a current member, once again, thank you guys so much. It means the world to us that we've just been able to surround ourselves and attract really, really great people. People that we call it our family, and internally we call it our family. And every week we go through in kind of our internal meetings and talk about just some of the awesome things that are happening in the community, and people taking other people out on their boat or doing kayak meetups and just, showing someone else the ropes. I mean, that's what it's all about. We want to make sure that in the future we have a force and a unified voice to go against all the Facebooks or Instagrams or some crazy, P to run group that's trying to shut down fishing. So the more that we can help other people, the more that we can come together and unite as a community, the better off we're all going to be for the sake of our kids and our grandkids and their kids, to make sure they had the same kind of experiences that we did. And that's what keeps us up at night. That's what keeps us going. I mean, we want to make a massive impact in the fishing world, and we want to have the largest and best community out there that really is like a driving force to make stuff happen and to protect our fisheries, to protect all the beautiful land out there that is, now state parks from becoming, high rises and parking decks and stuff like that. So guys, I hope you'll join us. I hope this was helpful. And hopefully you now have a very good understanding of why you don't see Luke and I in that Facebook group much anymore, besides just posting quick links and kind of bolting out of there. We're spending all our time in the private insider community, and we hope you will as well. Sign up today if you haven't already at saltstrong.com. Peace. We out.
See ya.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was